confidence. Confidence is something that will help you in every area of your life. And the opposite, insecurity, not feeling confident about yourself, will actually limit yourself in every area. Think about it. When it comes to even your health, if you don't feel confident, that means you're afraid, you have anxiety, you're stressed, you have a low confidence, so that begins to break down your immune system and actually affects your health. You know, when you think about your relationships, when you're in relationships, if you don't have a confidence, you're gonna have insecurity, you're gonna be needy, you're gonna be maybe suspicious, or offensive, or feeling rejected all the time because you don't have a high level of confidence. And confidence, it actually is very attractive. It's very sexy when you have a man or a woman who has a high level of confidence. So even in your relationships, that's gonna help you. Or how about with your sales? If you're in real estate, if you're in insurance, if you're selling some kind of coaching programs, if you have a low confidence, if you're not really certain and confident about what you do, about what you're selling, about your product and your service, people are not gonna buy. Because if you don't believe it fully yourself, if you're not certain and confident yourself, you think they're gonna be? No, they can feel it. They can feel your energy. If you're just kind of low energy and you're just like kind of hoping and like, oh, hopefully they get it, hopefully they buy, they can feel that. They want somebody who is certain. They want somebody who is confident in the way that they talk, the way that they walk, the way that they stand, the way that they carry themselves. All these things are so important if you really want to succeed in all the most important areas of your life. But how do we create it? Are we born with it? I know for myself, I didn't have confidence growing up. I was actually really shy. Right? And I say shy because I think saying shy is like a nice way of saying I'm scared. And a lot of times people think like, oh, I'm just shy, and it gives themselves a right and a reason and excuse to stay that way. But we can actually create confidence if we understand the 5-point process of actually building it. You see, there's a growth process that we have to go through. It's a universal growth process. No matter what you want to grow in, no matter what you want to achieve, what your ambitions are, what your goals are, what your dreams are, you must go through these 5 stages in order to get to the place where you're like feeling confident. You can't skip it. You can't skip through. You can't just go through, phase 1, then say, okay, I'm going to be confident about it. No, you can't. So it's really powerful to understand these 5 phases of growth, so you know where you are and where you want to be, what you need to do in order to get to that place where you feel confident about what you're doing, about what you're selling, about what you want to achieve, about the goals and desires that you have in your heart. So that way you get this high level of confidence. So all of a sudden you start to create more momentum in your life because you have this confidence about what you're doing. So I want you to write down these 5 phases of growth that will help you to understand, how do I get to this place where I can feel confident about what I'm doing? If you're selling houses, how can I get to the place where, man, I'm just confident, I'm certain about what I'm doing? If you're selling insurance, how can I get to this place where I'm so confident about what I do? People can feel it, therefore they buy. Or if you're a coach of some kind, maybe a health coach, life coach, business coach, and you want to get to the place where you're just leveling up your level of confidence, so that way your potential clients can feel that and want that and be like, man, I want to be like him, I want to be like her. So therefore they hire you. Because you can't give what you don't have, right? So if you don't have a high level of confidence, or you're just pretending, it's not going to work because you don't have it to give. And if you don't understand the 5 phases, it's going to take you a long time to get there. But when you understand it, all of a sudden, man, you accelerate your own growth. And growth produces happiness. So not only are you producing confidence for yourself, because you understand the growth process, you're actually producing more consistent happiness for yourself. And that's something that's also very attractive, right? That's something that's also going to help you to succeed in every area of your life. Have a high level of confidence with a high level of happiness, all because you understand these 5 phases of growth. So let's go through these. I want you to write these 5 down, and then you're going to start to see how this goes into every area of your life. Whether it's in your sales and building your business, whether it's in leadership, whether it's in your relationships, in your health, this really applies to everything. All right, here are the 5 stages of growth that will help you to realize where you are so you can get to the place of confidence. Number 1 is clarity. Number 2 is commitment. Number 3 is courage. Number 4 is capabilities. And then number 5, confidence. That's the last phase that you get to where you can feel confident. So let's talk about what these mean and what they are, so you can start to identify, okay, I understand this. I see how this works. I see what I need to do to get to that place of confidence in the different areas of my life. You ready? So number 1 is clarity. So In every area of your life, whether it's in your business, in your leadership, in your relationship, in your health, in your fitness, first you need to be clear on what is it that you want? Like, what is success for you in that area? What are your goals? You have to be clear there, because if you're not clear, you're gonna have fear, you're gonna have insecurities. If you're not clear, you're gonna have fear. So if you're not really sure of what you're gonna do, you need to sit down, give yourself some time and actually work through it. Write it down. Get some, a vision board. Write down what your goals are and start to see the reasons why you want to go there. You need to program your brain and actually begin to visualize, not just program it and think like, okay, these are my goals. Here's my vision board. You have to actually tell your brain and program in it through visualization. You need to see, okay, my goal is to lose 10, 15 pounds. Now, what are the rewards? What are the benefits of you doing that? You actually need to see yourself eating better. Right? Actually see with detail, see what you're wearing, see, your morning, your breakfast, your lunch, your snacks, your dinner, like see yourself actually going through the day, eating how you want to eat, how you think you should eat. And actually see yourself going through some temptation and you getting rid of that temptation and eating those foods, the good food that you need to put in your body that you should be eating, and not eating those things that you shouldn't be eating. Actually see yourself doing it. And then attach the rewards and the pleasure to you doing those things. So what does that mean? What are the rewards? What are the benefits? What is the pleasure of you actually doing the work and working out? You have to see yourself doing that. Now your commitment in the next phase is going to be much stronger because your brain knows what you're going to get out of it. So that's number one. You have to get clarity. So write down, look at all these things, all your goals that you want to have. Start to write it down, but then you go through this visualization exercise. It's like a meditation, where you're actually seeing with detail yourself actually doing the things that need to be done with as much detail as possible, because that's going to help you to get to number two. What is number two? Commitment. Now you're going to be more committed. Now you're going to be like, yes, I want this. Your brain's going to be all in. Your emotional state's going to be all in. And when your mind is in it, your beliefs, your behaviors will be in it also. Because your beliefs will create your behaviors, and your behaviors will create your results. So if you want better results, you need better behaviors. But if you want better behaviors, you need a better, stronger, clearer mindset about those things that you need to do. So now your commitment is going to be so much deeper, so much stronger, because you've already gotten so clear in your brain. It's going to be like this loud yes. It's going to be this yes towards those things that you should be doing, that it's like an automatic no to everything else. Those things that are not in alignment, those things that are distractions, those things that are going to discourage you. Maybe it's hanging out with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, the things that will suck you in before, eating the wrong foods. Now all of a sudden your commitment is so strong because of the leverage that you created in your brain with the clarity. It's an easy no to those things. You're not getting distracted anymore. And that's commitment. And you have to be committed to what you're doing, right? So a lot of times people, they say they're committed, like, oh yeah, I want that. They have good intentions. But having good intentions is much different than intentionally living, actually doing what needs to be done. And you have to create that leverage in you. You have to create that commitment through the clarity. Now that you have the clarity about all the most important areas of your life, remember, you need to take the time, do the exercise, write it all out, visualize these things so you can have a stronger commitment. And then number three is what? Now you're going to have more courage. See, it doesn't mean you're not going to have fear to maybe do some of these things that you haven't done before. Whether it's in your business, running your teams, in your relationship, maybe you're still going to be a little insecure about doing some of those things, but that's okay. You're going to have courage. When you have courage, it means that you have fear, but you do it anyways. And you're willing to do it anyways because your commitment is at a higher level. And your commitment is at a higher level. Why? Because you have stronger clarity about what you need to do. So now you have the courage. So you're going to do it even though you're not sure. But because your brain sees the reward at the end, that this is going to be pain with purpose, you're going to see the rewards at the end. Now you're going to be willing to take the action. And if you don't take the action, if you don't have consistent action in all these most important areas of your life, you're not going to get the results that you want. You have to do. It's not just about talking, taking notes, and learning. So many people are overeducated. They've taken all these, freaking courses, read all these books, but they're not putting it into action. You have to do these things in order to get the results. So that's why you need the courage to start taking action in things that maybe you haven't done before. And that's okay. And you're not going to feel confident right away. Remember, that's the fifth phase. You're not there yet. You already got some clarity. You already have, your commitment. You already have some courage to start doing some things. And now as you are doing, you're going to start to find out these different skills that you need to build. Like, man, I'm not very good at, this communication or dealing with conflict. Or maybe I'm not so strong in my sales. Or maybe I'm not so strong in my leadership. Or maybe I'm not so strong in how to work out. Or what am I supposed to eat? I don't know what I'm supposed to eat. I thought I did, but I only have this limited, understanding, this limited education of what I need to eat that's going to produce health. This is where you need to build your capabilities. Learn. Read books, take courses, watch my things, take my courses, come to some live events, do some conferences, all this to purposely and intentionally build your capabilities so that way you start to get into this phase of confidence. That's how you're going to get there. Like, here's an example. Something so simple as, when you were learning how to tie your shoes, right? When you're a little kid, you didn't know how to tie your shoe yet, so you weren't confident about doing it. So what did you need to do? You need to get some clarity first. How do I freaking tie my shoe? This is where you had, your mom, your dad, people who are around you start to show you how to tie your shoe, right? And they had maybe like a little example of like, okay, here's one little bunny ear, and here's another way. And they just gave you some training, some instruction of how to tie your shoe. So first you had to get clarity. Then you had to make a decision like, okay, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna practice it. I'm gonna do it, right? Which is the number 3. You're gonna have the courage to actually do it. And what would happen? You would do it and tie a freaking knot. You would mess it up and you would do it wrong. And you're like, but you had the courage to at least keep doing it because you committed to learn it, right? And then you build your capability. The more you did it, the more comfortable you got with it. Then all of a sudden you remember the system, the order of what you need to do things, and boom, you got it one time. You're like, I got it. And then maybe you mess up again, but then you get it again. You get it again because you're building your capability. Then you get to the point where you're so confident about tying your freaking shoe, right? Like even today, you can tie your shoe, you can be talking to somebody. It's on autopilot now. You don't need to even think anymore, and you're just doing it. Same thing with driving a car, right? You had to get some clarity. You had to commit to actually learning, taking the test, getting your license, right? Then you had to go and have the courage to get out there and actually drive in traffic or on the freeway. Then you build your capability to be able to park, reverse park, to parallel park, and to go on the freeway. And you start to build your capability to the point where now you're driving with one hand and listening to, maybe even on the phone and doing things, eating, maybe doing your makeup, doing things that you probably shouldn't be doing, but because you have this level of confidence about what you're doing. This goes into every aspect of your life. So if you understand these 5 phases of growth, you understand how to get to this place to create more confidence for yourself. See, confidence is not just going to just come. You're just not going to just wake up one day and like, I'm feeling confident about this all of a sudden. You're not going to eat a certain thing or drink a certain thing where all of a sudden you're like, I feel confident about this already. No, you have to go through these phases. You can't skip. So number 1, get some clarity about what it is that you want. What's the goal that you want to achieve? Get clarity in a place where you're programming your brain, because again, your brain doesn't know the difference of what's real, it's not. All of a sudden, you're getting rid of a lot of insecurities, a lot of hesitations, procrastinations, because you programmed your brain. Now you can really commit. Commit to having the courage to go take some action and start to do things. And as you are doing, you're going to start to see, okay, what things you need to build your capabilities so you can get to this place of feeling confident. Now that is how you build confidence for yourself.